Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be the 4 potential outcomes after the discard happens. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please subscribe. This is going to be a trigger warning. If your relationship ended recently, maybe you don't want to watch this video. If the relationship ended a while ago or a long time ago and you're strong enough to watch the video, please do so. Pay it forward and educate yourself. I'll jump right in. So the discard happens. One of the most challenging and trying experiences that you were not prepared for in your entire life. Let alone the narcissistic relationship, what that was a whole different thing. But when you are discarded for this video, that is putting the cherry on top, which means it is really trying to inflict the most damage upon you as possible. That's why there's a trigger warning here. But having said that, there are 4 potential outcomes post-narcissistic relationship after the discard has happened. And I will jump into number 1 first, right now. Number 1, and I'm not going to spend much time on this one, is the worst potential outcome. It means you don't survive, you don't make it. Now, I have experienced myself with that, January 6th, 2021, but I'm here, I made it. And my hope is if anybody watching this video is not in the best state of mind, that they understand that tomorrow will be a better day. Things do improve, and nobody on the planet is worth you not being on the planet, if you get my point. So I'm not going to spend more time on that, but that's outcome number 1. And I believe that this outcome happens more than people let on. I really do. I believe that the toxicity, the weight of the narcissistic relationship, it not only can create damage, let's say, or it can not only have people do what I'm mentioning if you read between the lines, but it also has ripple effects for generations to come. So that's outcome number 1. Outcome number 2 is the individual, which is not you because you're on the channel, you're getting the wisdom. Outcome number 2 is when the person does not get the wisdom. They were discarded, but they did not find my channel. They did not find that needle in a haystack. They did not understand that the person that they were with was perhaps a narcissist or certainly a toxic individual. So they did not get to understand or learn or become educated about the definitions, the glossary, the terms, what a flying monkey is, what gaslighting is, what the smear campaign is, what a rage fit is, the trauma bond, object constancy, cognitive dissonance, all these things. These people did not get that wisdom. Now, that is why so frequently on the channel I mention to you, and I too am one, I'm very fortunate to be here, believe me when I tell you, but I mentioned to you that if you've made it to the channel and you're getting the wisdom, you owe it to yourself to become educated and empowered, awakened and aware. And I don't say those words lightly. What I'm saying is you are one of the fortunate ones who found my channel. You're getting the wisdom. So outcome number 2, which I'll go back to, many people don't have the internet. Many people don't have a support system. Many people don't have the curiosity. Many people don't go down the rabbit hole of toxic narcissistic abuse. They don't find it. Myself included. I had taken notes in my relationship on my smartphone, and I still have them from years gone by, but I couldn't put it together. I didn't put it together until after the discard happened. And even then, it took me a few weeks to figure out what was going on. And this is with me putting a mountain of research into myself virtually the day after I was discarded, up into and including today. That's what I do. But I was a fortunate individual, and I found information out on the internet, and then I went to YouTube, and here we are. So that is outcome number 2, an individual who does not get the wisdom. It doesn't mean they don't want to find the wisdom. Doesn't mean they don't want to get the education. It means they weren't fortunate enough to have found it. Perhaps they did not know what they were looking for. Perhaps they didn't type in that one keyword that you typed in. Example, spouse won't talk to me, or silent treatment, or spouse acting like child, whatever it was. It doesn't matter what it was. The point is you found my channel. You're getting the knowledge. That's a beautiful thing. Many people don't get the knowledge. So that's outcome number 2. Outcome number 3 is going to be people that get the wisdom. They understand what the narcissistic abusive cycle is. Perhaps they've learned the definitions, the terms, the glossary, and they understand what they were up against, or perhaps still are up against. and they don't apply the wisdom. Get this message. It's very, very important. So these people are educated. They're like you are, or I am. They know what they're up against, but perhaps they are not strong enough right now or currently to go no contact, to block the narcissist, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. I understand that not everyone can block the narcissist. I get it. There are children involved many times. I get it. There are different circumstances for each and every one of us. I get it. I understand all these caveats. Everyone's relationship is different and unique, yet the same. Understand what I'm sharing with you. But this third outcome, post-narcissistic relationship, what it is after the discard, is these people, perhaps they haven't quite learned the lessons yet. Perhaps they're not as strong as they will be in the future. Perhaps they believe they have the knowledge and the wisdom, and everything will just fall into place without them actually taking action other than becoming educated. Now, this is a very dangerous position to be in, and I'll tell you why. The reason why is because if you fall in or fell into the third category, most likely you accepted a Hoover, or perhaps multiple Hoovers, when you had the knowledge or the wisdom, or maybe when you didn't. But the point is, now that you're getting the wisdom, you need to apply it. This is now a superpower. It's a superpower on steroids that money cannot buy, a college education cannot provide. You need to go through the narcissistic abusive cycle firsthand to understand the ramifications, the debilitation that it places upon you, all of the ways your resources become extinguished. You need to go through this firsthand. Now, again, I'm not wishing a narcissistic relationship on anybody. I'm saying if you made it this far in the video, chances are you've been through the fire, or you're going through the fire right now. This is the path. You must get the wisdom and you must apply it. But for these people in the third group, again, like I said, maybe they have the wisdom, they can't apply it because perhaps they're not as strong as they want to be. Perhaps they're not as strong now as they will be in the future. Perhaps they believe that there still is hope for the narcissist, meaning the narcissist can change, or really does love them, or really does want to try again in the relationship. We now know the narcissist only gets worse over time. The aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. You should watch that video, or a series of videos I created on the aging narcissist. They get worse and worse over time, and what they do is they fine-tune their skills of manipulation, and they simply leapfrog from one person to the next person, leaving a wake of destruction in their path. That's what they do, and they don't care. Remember, the narcissist cares about one person, and it is not you. It's themselves. They just simply want to glom onto individuals, ride the gravy train, take their money, the resources, have them fall in love with them, or go into business with them, or loan them money, whatever it is, and then they will discard people. Not always, but many times that's what happens. Now, I've discussed category number one, which I'm not going to go into again, play the first part of the video. And outcome number two is what I meant to say. Outcome number two is the people that never find the wisdom. Believe me, there are more people like that than there are people like you and myself. Believe me when I tell you. Outcome number three is the person who has the wisdom but hasn't applied it yet. Perhaps they're not strong enough. I've already mentioned that. Now, outcome number four is where I am, and it's my hope that this is where you are, and or this is where you are headed. This is the individual who has practiced radical acceptance. They've understood that they had to go through that relationship. It was a part of their life. It is a part of their history. It was and or is a part of their journey on this planet called Earth. There was no other way around it. They had to go through it. And what did they do when they were discarded? Well, they spent many sleepless nights alone. They lost a lot of weight or gained weight. Their social circle completely blew up. They found out that immediate family members did not have bandwidth to listen to them talking about something that they didn't even know about. And then one day they found the needle in the haystack, my channel, and they said, oh my goodness, wow, this is what I was up against? Okay, this is checking a box, that's checking a box. Oh my gosh, light bulb moments are everywhere. It's not just me. There are hundreds of millions of people that have experienced the same poor behavior all over the globe. And I am not, in fact, alone. When you get that wisdom and you apply it, you go down the rabbit hole of understanding narcissistic abuse and toxic people in general. That's when you are saying to yourself, oh my gosh, like, it wasn't just the narcissistic relationship I was thinking about. It's been some of my family members. It's been some of my friends. It's been some of my teachers. It's been some of my neighbors. So again, I am not saying that everybody on the planet is a narcissist. It's not what I do. I don't go walking around the planet pointing at people saying you're a narcissist. It's the last thing I do. I am sharing my wisdom and my experience with you and letting you know that the fourth outcome is hopefully you. It certainly is me. And this is when you become the third version of you after you have healed, after you take time to put yourself back together, after you take time to journal, to meditate, to heal childhood wounds, to perhaps speak with a therapist who has unfortunately gone through the narcissistic abusive cycle themselves and come out on top. And this is when you will have to really slow things down. There's a big void post-narcissistic relationship that you will have to fill. Remember, when you were with the narcissist, you were doing anything but just being. You were on the go, constantly putting out fires, constantly going here, there, everywhere, constantly going to the store 4 or 5 different times to buy a different kind of peanut butter or a different kind of bread. You were being toyed with. You were being manipulated. Your energy was being zapped. It was being drained. And all of your resources along with that were being drained as well. Then, after this all happened, remember, that void needs post-narcissistic relationship. It needs to be filled with you, with just being and understanding that that relationship was what it was, which was not good, but it taught you many lifelong learning lessons. There was no other way. You couldn't go around it. You had to go through it. You had to experience the narcissistic relationship. And number 3, the narcissist can't change. So again, if you were and or are pining for the narcissist, remember, the narcissist is a coward and a bully, and they manipulated you. They placed you in the trauma bond or the narcissistic fog, as I like to say, the devaluation stage, whatever you want to call it. And they did this on purpose because the narcissist can't fall in love, and they have no empathy, and they don't care about anybody other than keeping you trapped in that fog. But having said that, the fourth outcome is the best, because once you have healed properly and you have taken time in your time and you understand all of what I'm sharing with you, then you slow things down. You remove toxicity from your life. You take your energy back. Perhaps you have to relocate. Perhaps you have to start a new job. Perhaps you have to start a new business. Perhaps you have to build your friend circle up from scratch, from zero. Perhaps you have to do all those things. These are not bad things. These are great things, and I'll tell you why. Because when you were in the narcissistic relationship, I'm certain you had many friends that were coming and going, any which way the wind blew. And many of these were from the narcissist. They were the little bubbles, little groups, little sects of the narcissist that they kept flying around them. In other words, they were enablers or people that didn't wise up. And these people, they would pop into your life, they would pop out of your life. You would be triangulated, you would be gaslit, you didn't know what was going on. But what you did know was you could never get some peace. You can never get some rest. You can never just be. Now that the relationship is over, and by the way, if you did get discarded, my heart goes out to you. Believe me, it's one of the most challenging things to ever go through in your entire life. Same thing with the narcissistic relationship. But the point is, when you slow things down and you can just be, that means you can do what you want to do when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it. You're not doing what the narcissist wants. You're not at their beck and call. You're not jumping up off the couch to answer a text or a phone call because you know it's them. You see, you have to unlearn all that you were taught by the narcissist. Play that again. And that's what you do. That's what I'm doing. That's what we all need to do. So the fourth outcome is my hope that's where you are, where you've already conquered it. You've already reached that pinnacle of indifference, that mountaintop of indifference, when you don't care anything about the narcissist or anybody to do with them. You wish them the best of luck. Just stay away from me. That's what you say. When you do that, you're living your best life. You're understanding that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and you were manipulated. You were groomed. You were taken advantage of for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship. And those days are long over, never to return. Because now you have boundaries. Now you are not a people pleaser. Yes, you are an empath, perhaps. Yes, now you know how to say no, the strongest word in the English language. And please remember, when you say no to someone or something, you are saying yes to yourself. And whenever you try to say no to the narcissist, what did they do? Temper tantrum, rage fit, blame shifting, whatever, because they can't handle that 2-letter word, no. But now you have mastered that word no. And perhaps you've had to understand that there will be more casualties of the relationship. You'll have to lose some family members that were close to you, you believed, or perhaps some friends, people in communities or organizations that you were and or are a part of. All these things fall into place over time. But the idea, if you fall into the fourth outcome, is that you slow your pace of life down, you decompress, you're in a safe space, and you understand that you need to heal. You need time for yourself. And I'll share this before I close the video. If the relationship ended, let's say you were discarded or not, and I'm talking about from a narcissist, and let's say it was a romantic interest, and I know I speak about that a lot, but let's say it was, you need to heal. You need to take time away from getting into another romantic interest. Many times your friends or family members may say, oh, it's no big deal, just go back out dating, it's no big thing, just move on. Well, those people don't get it, they don't understand, and they haven't gone through what you've gone through, and they can't wrap their head around it, so I wouldn't be trying to explain it to them because they're never gonna understand it unless they go through it. But the point being, if you were in a narcissistic relationship romantically and it ended and you're healing, you need to really slow down. Get off the dating apps, get off the websites, all those kind of things. Focus on yourself. And when your cup is full and you have healed, you will know it. The day you know it, go back out, date, do what you want to do. But find a like-minded individual, somebody perhaps who has been challenged, maybe not in the narcissistic abusive cycle, but maybe challenged in a different way. In other words, they know who they are and they know what they want. They're not just dating you because you're a handsome individual or a pretty individual. They're dating you because of who you are, not how you look. Understand the message. It's very important. So post-romantic relationship with the narcissist, and you could say it non-narcissistically, but I'll focus on the narcissist part, you really need to slow down the dating because no Band-Aid is going to cover this up. This is a tunnel. You're going to have to go directly through it. You're going to have to punch the narcissistic abusive cycle in the face. You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to perhaps have to even experience the dark night of the soul. You're going to have to go through a lot of things. And I'm not trying to trigger you, but as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there was a trigger warning on this video. The reason why is because some of the things you're going to have to go through, not only do I not want to mention in details on the video, but they're not fun to discuss. And each and every one of our paths are different. We are all headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps. That is the healing path. But remember, it's not linear. And there will be some challenging days. There will be some challenging weekends. There'll be some challenging evenings. There'll be some challenging mornings. But my hope, again, is that you will continue to get yourself up and out of bed, take that first step, move forward, and continue to heal, to learn, to grow, to teach, to become educated and aware. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay true, stay blessed. Continue to become awakened and aware, and understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. There were 4 categories there, 4 outcomes, potential outcomes after the discard happened. The first one, I'm not going to talk about again. The second one, remember, second one is people that never find the wisdom. You are finding the wisdom because you're on my channel. That's a great thing. The third outcome is people finding the wisdom and not applying it. My hope is that's not you. But if it is, continue moving forward and understand that narcissists can't change. They won't change. They want to keep you trapped. And outcome number 4 is a person that gets the wisdom and applies it and has boundaries and now understands their value. It's very important you get this message. So pay it forward to someone who could use it. Guys, no matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys.